Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went in there? Or maybe you found yourself searching for your glasses, only to realize they've been on your head the whole time. If that sounds familiar, don't worry, you're in good company. These little slips happen to all of us, especially as we get older. But here's something that might surprise you. Forgetfulness doesn't have to be a normal part of aging. In fact, there are simple, everyday things you can do that work better than crossword puzzles to keep your brain sharp, focused, and even a little younger. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing bad about crosswords. They can be fun, and they do give your mind a light workout. But if you're really looking to boost brain power like clearer memory, better attention, quicker thinking, then you'll want to look beyond the puzzle books. In this video, we're going to explore 6 powerful daily habits that actually improve how your brain works. They don't require a fancy app or a degree in neuroscience. Just a little bit of your time and attention and maybe a pinch of curiosity. So, if you've ever worried about memory loss, mental fog, or just feeling slower than you used to, you're in the right place. Let's start with something incredibly simple, but often overlooked, and that's moving your body. Yes, physical movement. It's easy to think of exercise as something for our muscles or our heart, but your brain is right at the top of the list when it comes to benefits. You don't need to run marathons or do jumping jacks in your living room. Even a gentle walk around your block or a few minutes of dancing in your kitchen can work wonders. Why? Because every time you move your body, you increase blood flow, and with that comes oxygen and nutrients that feed your brain. Think of it like watering a plant. Your brain can't grow, function, or stay strong without that flow. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Movement actually helps your brain create new cells. Yes, even after 60, your brain can still grow new neurons, thanks to something called neuroplasticity. It's like your brain's way of saying, I'm not done yet. So the next time you lace up your shoes or stretch your arms over your head, just know it's not just your body you're helping. Your brain is reaping the rewards, too. And don't worry if you're not used to regular movement. You can start small, a 5-minute stroll after lunch, a few standing stretches while waiting for the kettle to boil. Even light housework counts. The key is consistency. The more you do it, the more your brain adapts, sharpens, and wakes up. Now, speaking of waking up, the brain, let me ask you something. When was the last time you learned something new? I'm not talking about solving a puzzle or reading a trivia fact. I mean really learning something, like trying a new skill, hobby, or even just listening to a subject you're curious about. Because here's the truth. Learning new things is one of the best ways to keep your brain young. Think of your mind like a muscle. If you don't challenge it, it gets lazy. But when you stretch it even just a little, it gets stronger. And the best part, learning doesn't have to mean going back to school. It can be something as enjoyable as picking up a new recipe, watching a documentary, or trying to play a few notes on an instrument. Let me tell you about one woman I met who decided, at 72, to learn how to paint with watercolors. She'd never considered herself artistic, but she thought it looked relaxing. A year later, she had a wall full of paintings and she swore that not only was her mind sharper, but her mood had lifted too. That's because when we challenge our brain with new information, we build more connections between brain cells. Those connections are like mental highways that help us think faster, remember more clearly, and stay mentally agile. You might be thinking, well, I'm not really the hobby type. That's perfectly fine. Learning can be woven into your day without even changing your routine. Listen to an audiobook while doing the dishes. Watch a video on a topic you've always wondered about while you're sipping your morning coffee. Try writing in a journal for 5 minutes a day. These little acts of curiosity spark big changes over time. Now, let's move on to something that often gets overlooked but can make a huge difference in how clearly you think. And that's social connection. It might not seem obvious, but talking to other people, even casual conversation, lights up many areas of the brain. Think about it. When you're chatting, you're recalling memories, forming thoughts, reading facial expressions, responding with humor or empathy. That's a mental workout all by itself. Studies have shown that people who stay socially engaged as they age tend to maintain better memory and sharper thinking. But let's be honest, it's not always easy to stay connected, especially if family or friends live far away, or if mobility becomes a challenge. The good news is that meaningful interaction doesn't have to be a big event. A friendly chat with a neighbor, a phone call with a friend, joining a book club or community group, whether in person or online, can help keep your mind active and engaged. And if you're not sure where to start, try this. Next time you go out for groceries or take a walk, smile and say hello to someone. Simple moments of connection can brighten your day and keep your brain buzzing. And if you're someone who loves to help others, volunteering in small ways can be incredibly rewarding for your mind and spirit. So let's take a moment here and think about what we've covered so far. Moving your body regularly, learning new things, staying socially engaged. These aren't just tips for staying busy, they're powerful, research-backed ways to strengthen your brain in everyday life. You don't need a crossword puzzle or a memory game on your phone to keep your mind young. You just need a little movement, a little curiosity, and a little connection. And you're already taking the first step just by being here and learning about it. Now that we've started tapping into these brain-boosting habits, let's keep going. There are still more simple, powerful ways you can feed your mind, stay sharp, and feel more confident every single day. One of the most powerful things you can do for your brain doesn't involve lifting a finger. In fact, it starts when you close your eyes, lay your head on the pillow, and drift off to sleep. That's right, sleep. It might not seem exciting, but getting good quality sleep is like sending your brain in for a tune-up every night. While you sleep, your brain is hard at work. It organizes your thoughts, clears out waste, and strengthens the connections that help you remember and think. Clearly, you've probably noticed that after a bad night's sleep, everything feels a bit harder. Words don't come as quickly, your focus is off, and small things feel overwhelming. That's not just in your imagination. Lack of sleep directly affects how well your brain functions, especially when it comes to memory, attention, and decision-making. So, if you want to keep your brain sharp, sleep is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Now, I know sleep doesn't always come easy. Maybe your mind is racing at night, or you wake up too early and can't get back to sleep. That's more common than you might think. But there are a few gentle tricks that can help. Try keeping a consistent bedtime even on weekends. Wind down an hour before bed with quiet activities like reading, light stretching, or listening to calming music. Avoid screens late at night, and try not to eat heavy meals too close to bedtime. And if you find yourself lying in bed with your mind spinning, here's something simple you can do. Gently focus on your breath. Inhale slowly, count to 4, then exhale to the count of 6. Do this a few times. It tells your body and brain that it's time to rest. Over time, These small habits can add up to better sleep and a much clearer mind. Of course, while sleep resets the brain, what you put into your body throughout the day plays a huge role too. And that brings us to something that truly impacts brain function every single day: what you eat. Now, I'm not here to tell you to go on a diet or give up everything you love, but it's important to understand that certain foods can either fuel your brain or fog it up. Think of your brain like an engine. If you fill it with the wrong fuel, too much sugar, heavy processed foods, or too much alcohol, it starts to slow down. But when you give it nourishing, whole foods full of vitamins and healthy fats, it runs smoothly. One of the best things you can do for your brain is to eat more colorful fruits and vegetables. Those bright colors usually mean the food is packed with antioxidants, which help protect your brain from aging. Omega-3 fats, found in things like salmon, walnuts, and flax seeds, are especially powerful for brain health. Your brain is made up of about 60% fat, and omega-3s help keep those brain cells flexible and able to communicate properly. It's like oiling the gears in a machine, so everything runs more smoothly. And don't underestimate the power of staying hydrated. Even mild dehydration can lead to brain fog and forgetfulness. So, if you're feeling a little off, try sipping a glass of water. It might be exactly what your brain needs. You might be wondering, is it really that simple? And the answer is yes, it can be. You don't have to become a nutritionist overnight. Just start by adding in a few brain-friendly foods each day. Maybe swap out a bag of chips for a handful of almonds, or toss some blueberries into your morning oatmeal. Over time, these small shifts make a big difference. But let's talk about something else now, something that's just as important as food or sleep, and that's how you think about yourself. Believe it or not, your thoughts shape your brain. 2. If you've ever caught yourself saying, "I'm just getting old," or "my memory isn't what it used to be," I want you to stop and really think about those words. Because here's the truth: your brain listens to what you tell it. If you constantly tell yourself that you're declining, your brain will follow that pattern. But if you stay curious, stay open, and tell yourself that you can learn and grow, you're literally creating a healthier brain environment. That's not wishful thinking. It's backed by science. Positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means focusing on what you can do instead of what you can't. And one way to do that is by practicing gratitude, just taking a moment each. Day 2, notice something you're thankful for, like a good cup of tea, a sunny morning, or a kind word from a friend, helps rewire the brain to notice the good in life. That creates resilience, it builds mental strength, and it improves focus, mood, and memory. Try this each morning. Before reaching for your phone or turning on the TV, take a few seconds to name 3 things you're grateful for. Say them out loud if you like. It might feel silly at first, but give it a week. You might be amazed at how much lighter and clearer your mind feels. And here's a beautiful thing: your mindset also affects your relationships. When you approach the day with a positive, open-hearted attitude, people notice. Conversations flow more easily. You're more likely to smile, to listen, to connect. And that connection, just like we talked about earlier, is fuel for your brain. So, what we've really been talking about here is treating the brain with care, moving your body, learning new things, staying connected, getting good sleep, nourishing your body, and thinking kindly about yourself. These are not extreme measures. They're daily choices, small actions with big rewards. And the beauty of It all is that it's never too late to start. No matter your age, your brain is still capable of change, growth, and renewal. Every day is a new chance to take care of it a little better. Every moment is an opportunity to feed your mind, not just with facts or puzzles, but with movement, with wonder, with connection and love. You don't have to do everything all at once. Just start with what feels easiest for you. Add one new habit to your routine. Maybe today you'll go for a short walk. Tomorrow you might try a new recipe or call an old friend. Each of those things is a step toward a sharper, more vibrant mind. Let's keep this momentum going and take a look at another powerful tool that many people overlook, one that helps calm the brain, sharpen focus, and even boost memory. All by doing less, not more. Because sometimes doing less is exactly what your brain needs. We live in a world that's always buzzing, phones pinging, TVs talking, thoughts racing. And while staying active is important, there's a kind of quiet that's just as powerful when it comes to boosting brain power. I'm talking about mindfulness, or in simpler terms, being present. Now don't worry. You don't need to become a meditation expert or sit cross-legged on the floor for an hour. Mindfulness is simply about paying attention to what you're doing while you're doing it. That might mean taking a slow breath and noticing how the air feels as you inhale, or really tasting your tea instead of gulping it down while distracted. Even something as simple as noticing the color of the leaves as you walk outside. Mindfulness. When you do this, something remarkable happens inside your brain. It begins to quiet the mental noise, the worry, the endless list of what's next. And in that stillness, your mind becomes sharper, you focus better, you remember more clearly, you feel more in control. That's because mindfulness reduces stress, one of the biggest enemies of brain health. When stress goes unchecked, your brain is constantly flooded with chemicals like cortisol, which over time can damage memory and slow down thinking. But when you take just a few minutes a day to be still, to breathe, to notice, you're training your brain to stay calm and clear. A good place to start. Try what I like to call 1-minute moments. Just 1 minute a day. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes if you like, and gently focus on your breath. In, out. If your mind wanders, that's okay, just bring it back. That's not failure, that's training. You're teaching your brain to focus, and over time, that focus becomes second nature. And if sitting still isn't your thing, you can practice mindfulness while walking, cooking, even washing dishes. Just slow down and notice. That act of paying attention rewires the brain for calm, focus, and mental resilience. There's something else that mindfulness gives you, and it's one of the greatest brain-boosting secrets of all: emotional balance. When you're more aware of your thoughts and feelings, you're less likely to get swept away by stress, worry, or frustration. And when your emotions are steady, your brain works better. You think more clearly. You solve problems more easily. You sleep more peacefully. It's a gentle, beautiful cycle, and it starts with just a moment of quiet now. As we round out these daily brain-boosting habits, there's one more that ties everything together, and that's purpose. Having something to look forward to, a reason to get up in the morning, something that makes you feel useful, joyful, alive. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be a career, a lifelong mission, or something that gets written in the history books. Sometimes, purpose is as simple as tending a garden, caring for a pet, helping a neighbor, or writing a letter to someone who needs a kind word. Your brain craves meaning. It craves being part of something, no matter how big or small. And when you have that, it lights up. You make decisions more confidently. You engage with life more fully. You feel motivated to take care of yourself, to keep learning, to stay connected. I met a gentleman once. He was 83 years old and had taken it upon himself to learn how to fix old bikes. Not because he needed to, but because the local kids in his neighborhood didn't have anyone else to help them. That became his purpose. Every Saturday, he set up a little workshop in his garage, and the kids brought their bikes to him. He told me it made him feel 20 years younger and sharper than ever. Purpose can be found anywhere. Maybe for you, it's baking something for someone you care about, or passing along a family story, or learning to play a song just because it makes you smile. These aren't just hobbies. These are brain-boosting, life-giving acts that spark joy and keep you engaged. And here's the beauty of it all. When you combine all of these simple habits: movement, learning, connection, sleep, good food, mindfulness, and purpose, you create a kind of brain health routine that works without ever feeling like a chore. You're not just keeping your memory intact, you're building a fuller, richer life. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about remembering names or dates. It's about feeling awake and alive. It's about being able to enjoy the moment you're in, hold on to the memories you treasure, and look forward to what's ahead. So, if you've ever wondered whether you can truly keep your brain strong after 60, let me remind you, yes, absolutely. Your brain is not past its prime. It's still listening, learning, growing. You haven't missed your chance. It's not too late, and no, you don't need to sit down with a crossword puzzle every day unless you really enjoy it. Instead, go outside. Try something new. Laugh with someone. Eat something that makes you feel good. Take a deep breath. Move your body, even just a little. Find something that gives your day meaning. Every one of those things helps your brain stay sharp. Not one or two of them, all of them, together, forming a gentle rhythm in your day that keeps you thinking clearly, feeling connected, and living fully. Before we wrap up, I just want to say this: be kind to yourself. You're doing more than you realize. Even by watching this video, you're taking a powerful step toward better brain health. That says something about you, that you care, that you're curious, that you're not done growing, and that's something to be proud of. So let's keep the conversation going. If any of these habits resonated with you, if you've already been doing some of them, or if you're excited to try something new, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what your daily brain boosters are. You might inspire someone else who's reading to dot. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like and hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more content coming to help you live your best life at any age with energy, clarity, and joy. Here's to you and to your brain. May it stay curious, open, and full of life every single day. If this video gave you something to think about, even just one small habit you'd like to try, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It really helps more people like you find this kind of content. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the little bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one thing you're doing each day to keep your brain healthy and strong? Let's learn from each other and grow together. Thanks for spending this time with me today. Here's to clearer thinking, joyful days, and a brain that keeps on shining, no matter your age. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.